All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market to close out the week. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, quick sound check, drop me a 1 in the chat so we can get this session off and running. All right, I see the good mornings. I see the ones coming in. All right, I see. Okay, so let's start with the sound foundation, the credo, right? Always a reminder to make sure that we're accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's make sure that we continue to trust in our education, our strategy, and our trading skills, and our intuition. That counts too. And let's make sure that we imagine our trades successfully materializing and that we are obeying our strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed and fear. And let's make sure that we're never looking back. We're stopping once your trade has commenced. If we are all ready to go, we agree to those things. Let's get this session started. Clicking over to the calendar. I want to take a look at that yesterday from Thursday. The U.S. unemployment claims came in just a little under at at 218. Hold on 1 second. I am not 218. I'm on the wrong date. I want yesterday retail sales on Thursday. Sorry, my screen got a little messed up. Retail sales on Thursday came in just missed target. Okay, so it came in 0.6%. 0.2% was the expectation. Empire Manufacturing Index came in just above negative 2.4, so that was a good number. And then a retail sales month over month, 0.8%. That missed as well. So core and overall retail sales missed, but the unemployment claims came through at 212 on 219, right? So came in just under. Okay, so that came out good. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index came in at 5.2. And U.S. import prices month over month rose 0.8%. So bit of mixed data yesterday due to the retail sales coming in missing forecast. But all in all, you saw the DXY bounced around a little bit, still set for a slight gain for the week for the DXY. So we'll take a look at that on the charts to see what it's looking like from a technical perspective. Then we had there was something else that I wanted to see. Oh, Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. So we see that we're starting to get signals from the Bank of Japan, right? Saying that they're watching the FX market closely. So that was the other thing that I saw
Yeah,
while reading. So the same rhetoric
yeah,
that we
yeah. We
yeah
we
that
knew
we
it was gonna come though.
yep. So the same rhetoric that we tend to hear when the prices start to accelerate, against the yen. So that was a little bit of news that I caught. I'm always looking for that warning from the Bank of Japan. So it has been put out there, shots fired. So we'll see what happens. UK retail sales, right? Sales rise the most in nearly 3 years. That's positive retail sales volume, right? So while yesterday we missed here in the United States, in the UK it rebounded by 3.4% in January, following a sharp fall of 3.3% in December, easily beating market expectations of a 1.5% gain. So it was the largest monthly rise since April 2021, as sales increased in all subsectors except clothing stores. On a yearly basis, trade rose by 0.7%, the most since March 2022, right? So that's some decent news, right, for the UK. I need that to happen because I'm in some long positions for the pound. So I was, I was happy to see that this morning that means I still got a shot for some positive gains for the pound. So um, that's all I have. Ryan, do you have anything in regards to fundamentals? I know we've got some data today coming out
Yeah, we got
for
some
the
data
US.
today.
Mhm.
Bostic uh said in one of his meeting yesterday that it may take some time to hit rate cut threshold. So,
Okay,
kind of continue that narrative based on the data that, it's not time yet to cut rates. So I'm working on a blog post that'll be ready in a few minutes, kind of breaking down what he said in his narrative from yesterday. So,
cool, cool. And we've got core PPI today, right?
yep.
So producer price index coming out. So can't forget about that. That's a major one coming out at 8:30 for the United States. So we'll see how we close out the weekend. Then we've got U of M consumer sentiment. So don't want to overlook today for sure, as those are very, very important reports. So we had retail sales, core PPI, and University of Michigan consumer sentiment and preliminary inflation expectations. So if you guys follow the training, the fundamental training, you know that those are all very, very important. PPI, right? Producer prices, retail sales, and consumer sentiment. Those are key fundamental indicators. So big report coming out on Friday. Any questions regarding the fundamentals?
Benny.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a quick one. Yesterday, the data showed that the UK is technically in a recession, but however, I think today's retail sales indicate that there was a massive improvement. So how do you balance that?
Well, I look at it. Well, when I was looking at the data yesterday from the UK and the recession, right? It was kind of a lot of people, when I was reading it and listening to Bloomberg, that it was fairly shallow, right? But a recession nonetheless by technical terms, right? Two negative quarters of GDP results. But most people that I was listening to deemed it as shallow. The reports saw it as shallow, and that's lagging too, right? And a lot of one report I was reading that it was saying that when you strip out some economic indicators or something like that, I have to go back and read the report. That the one report, they felt like the UK has been experiencing a recession for a longer period of time than what they just reported. You know, um, so that's lagging. So with retail sales looking like it's improving, it seems like moving forward, maybe for this next quarter, then you start to come out of it, right? So technically, right, you had two negative quarters of GDP. Um, I know at one point, I think it was last year, Ryan, right, where I think it was the US where that number came through like that. I thought at some point,
Yep, it
yeah,
did.
it came through, and you see what happened with what happened with the dollar. So I think I just think the world, as we become more global, man, uh some of the traditional indicators and things that we look at fundamentally don't seem to be having as large of an impact. You know what I mean? Maybe it's an early signal of something down the line. Maybe I don't know, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Because when it seemed like the United States just stormed right through it, like, hey, we got two two negative quarters of GDP, and then you looked at the other data and things are rocking and rolling. So I'm not too sure exactly how to read that now. I know that positive retail sales report is a good sign for the UK. The UK needed that, So I don't know if that answers your question, but I just I just don't think that it seems to have the impact that it once had when people see those two negative quarters like that. I guess it's a timing thing, when some things may happen, but we've been talking about the timing, for example, like for stuff here in the United States for 2 years. and it's still, and the economy is still rocking and rolling and still having positive data prints here in the United States. So I don't know what to take from that with the pounds. And a lot of these pairs, I've been down, just playing some of the shorter term moves, the C to D moves and letting it, taking profit at the lower time frame extensions and then seeing what happens from there. So kind of just trading what I see. But a lot of the data has just been mixed for quite some time, just globally. Ryan, I don't know what you think. What's your thoughts on that, Ryan?
Yeah, the conversation last year was really about them. This kind of goes to your point, but changing how they viewed those metrics, right? And saying, yeah, this is the traditional way that's seen, but we don't look at it that way today, right?
Right.
So completely shifting the narrative of how the data has been used traditionally. So that could be similar to what we're seeing in the UK as well.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Look, I mean, for example, I mean, the Bears have been Bears for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and they're getting squeezed. Like it's just, I don't know. I think it's amazing. I think it's unprecedented what's going on right now, globally. Because everybody just kept waiting for the wheels to fall off this thing. They were criticizing central bankers, saying they reacted too late. They did this and did that, and soft landing, hard landing, and it's like it just keeps pushing forward. So uh, we'll see. We'll see what that if that signal that we got, yesterday in regards to a recession for the UK. We'll see how that plays out, man, over the days and weeks and months ahead. I mean, we got the same news from Japan, but to me, what really is driving the yen's weakness is strictly they're not budging on the interest rates. More than anything. I didn't see, right. I don't know if you paid attention to the charts. I didn't see any type of major move, you know,
No.
with the yen when they announced that they're in a recession. Like I didn't see it at all. I didn't see prices accelerate to the upside. It seemed like it was just the normal ebbs and flows of price action that was occurring. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll have a greater impact on some long-term positional traders and what they choose to do with their positions and how they allocate, their investments. But I don't know. So we shall see. But yeah, we could get some movement for a Friday. So I started out by saying the DXY is set so far coming into the day for a weekly game, but we'll see what happens with this data coming out today. But great question, Jeremy. Great question. Sparked some good discussion. Yep, on the impact. Yep. So taking a look at the DXY, right? So moving up. So like we said, slightly weekly gain, right? You can see we're still green there for the week. We'll see what happens when the data hits at 8:30. Here was the check back yesterday with the retail sales missing. Okay, so the technical footprint's right there on the chart. Okay, so a reaction back to the downside, we'll see if it can hold that level. All right, so that's where we are in regards to the dollar. Just zooming in, I'll go to the one for this one. You can see that correction that came as a result. So again, fundamentals, knowing and understanding what's moving the market. What's moving the market. All right. So let's jump into going through, taking a look at some things that we were talking about yesterday. Coming in, taking a look at this this Aussie Swissy, and we know, right, that from a weekly higher time frame perspective, right, it's been moving up against the Swiss. And for the Swiss currency, right, if we take a look at it, Ryan, I was looking at this today. I was looking at the data on it. We could see that the SNB, right, the Swiss National Bank, increased its foreign exchange reserves for the second month running in January, pointing to a rebound from the sustained decline in the past 2 years that that took reserve levels to 7-year lows. So they seem to be re-upping now. In
Yep.
regards to their reserves. So we know that they were, decreasing their reserves, right, to boost the strength of the Swiss franc to protect against, rising energy prices and things like that. So now they seem to be doing the opposite. So that Swissy doesn't seem to be holding the same weight that it was, especially towards the last part of last year and even into this year. So you can see the prices moving up against that Swissy. But we're looking at a correction play here on the 30. This is what we were looking at yesterday. So small 21 pip stop on the 30-minute, and it's bouncing around, right? So we want to see if we can get that correction back down to a low price. And then maybe at that point, we look to get bullish again. The Australian dollar is a tricky one because I know, who is it? Is it Bullock, Ryan? I think it's Bullock, right? We're saying that they can entertain rate cuts if need be with being outside of the inflation target of 2%, whereas you have other central banks saying that, we're steadfast in holding rates until we get back within that target and hold that and make sure that target level is sustained. So they're willing to entertain cuts. So the Australian dollar is a little tricky. We know it's a commodity currency. It could be definitely fundamentally driven, big time. So looking for a correction on this Aussie Swissy to the downside. We've got a downward move here slightly on the 30-minute. So we'll continue to watch that one and see how it plays out. But as we like to see, right, you get price to slow down and kind of stall out, start consolidating around that 80-20 zone. That's what it's doing. So we'll see if we can get a push to the downside from the bears. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss?
No.
Alrighty. Well, make sure we got had a lot of people join us. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me give you control over your microphones. Okay. So that's where we are. Seeing if we can get that push down. The Aussie yen, we've got a longer term swing play to the upside, but we identified an 80-20 yesterday. That hit the stop. That was a short term play. So that one was here. So we got price to slow down, the momentum to slow, and we went up against that daily resistance. So it corrected, but then it continued long. So we got stopped out on that one at 37 pips. For these yens, Ryan, I'm thinking because they're not budging. I know they're talking, but I'm looking. So here's the overall swing, everybody. So I'm gonna look for. I got hit on this one yesterday, so I'm just gonna let this continue long. So any pullback, I'm gonna look for the C to D move and just until we get to these higher D extension targets, right? Because everything they're saying they're watching the market, but they haven't done anything yet to force a correction. So, for example, here on this 30-minute, I am going to wait for a low price, and then I'm going to look to get long, right? So, like on this previous one. So this previous C to D move here played out, okay? And we had the opportunity on the 30 as well for a correction, 80-20 correction, and it did slightly, right? So it came off the daily resistance level, 50 pips, right? So it made a nice move. It just didn't get to target, right? So I hadn't adjusted my stop or anything on that short play in the account. So I took the loss on that one. But what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for this price to correct. So we've got this daily level at 97.56. Okay. So it looks like we want to swing off this beat boundary so we can get this to pull back in this area, in this zone. Then I am going to look to get long on the yen. So I'm going to stay long on these yens and just wait. Right. So you're either looking to add to a long position that you're currently in, and you can use these pullbacks on these lower time frame fibs to do that, to add to your long position, or if you're looking for an initial entry, right? So if you're making the smaller plays, riding the smaller ABCD waves, and you're out and you're waiting on another opportunity, then you wait for your low price and then you get long. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a 1 in the chat, please. Okay. So continuing long on these yens. I'm not looking to play these. I'm not going to look to play these corrections anymore. I'm take advantage. I'm going to keep the long play running on a longer positional play that I have, longer swing, and then I'll look to add off of the pullbacks. So that's that. Moving on to the Aussie NZD. All right. So just continuing to follow the price action. Okay. Continuing to follow the price action on this 80-20. Okay. On the 1 hour. Okay. So we've moved up quite a ways, okay, in this zone. So when we talk about adding to positions, okay, so you start out trading small. You have to remember, right? So these aren't 5 and 10 pip positions that we're going after, you know. These are longer, right? So we see it as 111 pips to TP1. So understanding the Fibonacci sequence, understanding that the market moves in waves, we know unless there's some crazy strong fundamental catalyst that just pushes the market in one direction, which happens from time to time. It's rare, right? Where you get a huge 100 pip move in you know, 1-2 candles, right? We know that this market is going to move in waves. It's going to have check back points. So it's another reason why we mark our support and resistance levels, right? So you can either use your fibs, like we just saw in the Aussie yen, as an opportunity to add to your position. Or if you're more of a support and resistance type person, then you can look to add to positions on break and retest. For example, this price action, let me pull this off. Because you are up in profit at this point, okay? So we see how price has moved up, it's broken through levels, it came back, and it retested, right? Bounced around, right? So look, here, now we're in the area where price is coming back to retest the zone. Past resistance becoming future support, okay? So this could be a potential area where you look to add to a position, right? Just a trade idea, okay? So you got the market trying to form a low. It's holding. You're getting a reaction there. Do I add to my position, right? Do I scale in to my position? Because I'm already trading on house money, right? I'm in profit. Okay, so right now, currently off that level, I'm up 54 pips. Okay. So maybe this is an opportunity where I add to my trade here, okay, and look to continue to ride price to the upside, okay? Any questions on that? Just continuing to build upon our trade plan and how we like to trade, okay? We say whatever you do, just be consistent at it, all right? No questions? All right, everybody's got that down?
No.
Okay. All right, appreciate it. So we are going to move on. So that one is still active. Check in, Cash Swissy, still long, still trying to get right to our target. So we can see here that off the weekly, look at that bounce, right? And the idea, right, and how we teach things and how we use the fib, it's very, once you get it, you got it. Okay, it becomes a very simple concept. Might not be in the beginning, but like Ryan says, you have to continue to show up for yourself. Okay, this has been making lower lows and lower highs. In essence, it's been making ABCD waves, and they definitely play out on the lower time frames. So in order to get to this point, you had to have down ABCDs running to get to that U-turn. Okay. And we use our fibs. Oops. We use it as extra confirmation to identify those high probability U-turn points. So in order for us to get to that extreme low, we had to make down ABCDs. See? We've made down ABCDs, just like I was showing you on the weekly chart. Okay? Just a little spatial intelligence, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. So there are times when we get that ideal sweet spot. We know we came into a major low. But when we put the fib on top of that, the additional confirmation is that it's an 80-20 zone for us. And we get the reversal. And now price is moving up. So this is another area here where you're moving, right? So we can see that this is making a beautiful C to D move. Okay. So you can use the fib as an opportunity to add to your position, right? Or you can say, hey, this area broke and is retesting. I might want to add to my position, right? At this point. Okay. So however you do it, just be consistent. Okay. So we give you, if you look at it, we're giving you an all-in-one framework, right? In regards to how the market moves, right? Some people say, I like trading break and resets, right? How many people heard that before online and internet and all that stuff? Break and retest, right? But you have to, you want to make sure that you do your best to get your direction right. Okay. And fibs help you do all of that. So we've reversed, we're moving. So we've come quite a ways. Right? Over 200 pips. Okay. 200 pips. Now, right, we wait. Okay. For price to get to that TP1, that'll be 339 pips on that move. Any questions on the CAD Swiss?
No.
Appreciate it. All right. CAD yen. Right. So this is another one that I'm talking about, Ryan, where it's like it has its moments and it pauses and it corrects, but for the most part, it's been accelerating. Okay. So those of you who've been in the group for a while, we've been watching this and letting this just run long, playing some corrections, taking shots at corrections, on the lower time frames, but for the most part, this is running long, right? No change in monetary policy out of the Bank of Japan. Prices just continue to run long. All right. So we've finally gotten above that 111.14. We know this was an area of concern before. The zone, because of how price reacted. Well, we pushed through it this time. We came back, we triple bottomed, and now this is continuing to run. So we'll work our way to that 932 pip target. So it's just a matter of, with the Bank of Japan watching the FX market closely, when we see a correction, how deep is that correction going to be, right? So here's the 4. Just continuing to push long, okay? Just continuing to push long. So we're actually projected to hit that daily D extension before this 4. Okay? So what we could do is we could come down to the lower time frames. I know we were looking at it yesterday on the 15-minute to see if we can get a correction, but make a play off of that. But it's running, right? Still running long. So we're actually, that's probably going to close in on that extension at 1 hour. So we probably will get another opportunity to add to a position, right? So if you have one account where you're holding positions in another account where you're playing a shorter term plays, 80-20s and things like that, like here's one on the 30. And I do recommend that. Keeping your accounts separate. But here's your 80-20 there, right? So we're looking for any type of correction to continue to take opportunities to get long, right? Like that. Okay. So there's an 80-20 short opportunity out of that zone. We were looking at it on the 15 yesterday. Here. Right, but you can see how that's pushing up, right? It's pushed up past the zone. We'll see if that holds, but you can see how we pretty much double bottomed at that 110 level. So it gave us a good reaction again. The zone, right? It pays dividends for us, right? But sometimes we don't always get the corrective move all the way back to that 382 like we like to see. But you can see where price keeps reacting at these levels. That was a monthly resistance level as well, but we broke through it. Broke through that monthly resistance level. So not sure if that's going to come back down and catch that. But at this point, right, either it collapses or it hits stop, or we just wait for a new low price. If it does that, we wait for another correction and then we get long on it, okay? But overall, that swing play, right, that we've had drawn up for quite some time, it is continuing to move towards that target at 114.05. Any questions on the CAD yen? All righty. Moving on to the EuroCAD. Something on the Swiss yen. Yes, I do have something on the Swiss yen. Do have a markup here. So again, right, we're chasing this monthly D extension. We're getting close. Okay, we're getting close. So if we come down here to the 1, okay, this is one that's been sitting here for a while. Okay. But you can see if we just stay patient, right? Okay, if we just stay patient. So did we hit the stop loss? Yes or no?
No.
All right. Appreciate it. We didn't. So we should still be active in this trade. Okay. We should still be active in this trade. Trade small, let the trades run. If we're within this AB boundary, let it keep moving. Okay. Okay. So this is when you know, right? When you start looking at currencies like, man, like, well, the Swissies dropped off strength-wise. Right. Now we know that it can strengthen if we get a major risk off situation, but in regards to what the Swiss National Bank has been doing, it's shown some weakness as of late. But even though it's shown some weakness, when you look at it versus the yen, it's still moving in a bullish, upward direction. So that tells you, like, hey, that yen is pretty weak across the board, right? So we're getting movement, right? We see we're consolidating, we'll probably break out to the upside on that. So that one is still in play, right? That's a 329 pip move. There's that monthly extension, 176.25. So we're still heading in that direction, slowly but surely. Any questions on the Swiss yen? I wanted to make sure I double backed on that because I know we didn't cover it yesterday. It's been a while. Moving on, I want to take a look at this Euro CAD. All right. So I'm looking at this because, right, we're ranging on this daily time frame. We're ranging in between these levels, stochastics and the buy zone. We're in the key zone, right, from a higher time frame. So if we move down through the charts, we know that we never got, right? That's that higher time frame fib that I brought down. Okay. So deep correction. Okay. And here we are in that range. Okay. Never, right? We got within a pip or two of that 382, but we didn't hit it. Okay. We didn't hit it. So we're looking for a return plus fundamentally. I like this setup. Okay. I want to see the euro show some strength and get long. So what I want to see is a breakout to the upside. Okay. And I'm watching this, looking to play this from the 30-minute. Okay. I do have a smaller position in, and here we are, right? So we finally got some action today. I'll make sure I post this in the community because we've been talking about that larger move, right? How we never got that 382. But look at it here on the one. Okay. So you saw it off the 4. Here's the 1 hour, right? And Ryan's been covering this one as well. But what we're looking like here on the 30 is you can see how we're starting to get a reaction. So this initially broke and it moved sideways. So in essence, when you get that sideways move, if you need to readjust, you readjust to the breakout of the consolidation. And you can see we got a bullish candlestick there. Okay. So now we're pulling back and we're doing the dance. But shorter term move, right? We get 99 pips to this 30-minute the extension. And then there is that 382, that 146.13 level. Okay, just above there. All right. But this is a 30-minute play. We'll get this one posted. But we got a decent reaction. We got a bullish engulfing candlestick off the level now after it got range bound. So looking for a continuation to the upside on this. Any questions on the Euro CAD?
No.
All right. So we'll stick with the Euros. Go and take a look at this Euro Swissy. I'm looking for an opportunity to buy, right? So you can see, right, coming off the lows, that swing. And you can see this ABCD wave playing out to the upside. So here's our overall on the 4. Okay. We're moving long. There's that move. Okay. That's holding there. See how it's breaking and retesting that level. So that's probably going to continue long. All right. So let's go down and see what that looks like on the 1. See, it didn't give me my low price. Okay. So I'm not going to play that. All right. Even though it may continue, it's a nice retest, but we may get price to move down. Okay. may get priced to move down if this level doesn't hold. So I'm going to hold to my trade plan, right? These are those decisions that we have to make, right? So I'm going to hold to my trade plan to see if I can get that daily support level to break and move down into my zone, right? So I'm going to pass on that now, even though it looks super attractive, right? My 1 hour stochastic is in the sell zone. So if I get a low price, okay, I'll take it. If it continues long and hits the D extension, then I'll wait for the next opportunity. Questions on the Euro Swiss. See what we look like on the 30. Same deal.
No.
All right. So we'll wait on that one. See if we can get a lower price. At least that's what I'm done. All right. Moving on to the Euro JPY. Oh, hold on. Let me look at this Euro GBP. Jeremy, you still holding that, or did you take profit on this Euro GBP?
Still holding.
Okay.
Me too.
You still you still holding too? Well, we got some sevens to go around. That's good. Way to be patient. Way to be patient. Way to make the adjustment that you made in regards to where you were placing the stop on that. And yeah, it's still moving. Still moving. So just continue to manage the trade. Continue to manage the trade. Decent. It's a
I'm just
nice
working on
reversal.
my patience level.
Yeah, I understand. And we know this one can be tricky. It's not a huge mover. You know, it's not a huge mover. We know it can be a tricky pair to trade because they're so close in relationship, you know, in regards to what fundamentals impact it, you know. So just continue to monitor the trade, but it's going in your direction. So good job on that. What do we look like here? 20. Let's push it back up into the zone. Yeah, so let's continue to watch it, right? We got a little rejection off that 85.70. It's trying to go back up again, right? And test it. So it's doing this thing. All right. That's the Euro GBP. Great job. Great job on that. And let's take a look at the Euro Yen. No, we're moving long. Look at that. That's moving pretty good. That's moving pretty good. Now I've got that target set at that 127, but I want to make sure that actually, yeah, it looks like it got there. Let me see. $158.06. 158.06. 6, 8. Yeah, so it got there. So I'm gonna leave it there at 127. But right, you can see how powerful the fibs are, right? And how it leads to huge moves. If you can do your top-down analysis, do your fundamental analysis, do your best to try to get your direction right, and then wait for your sweet spots. Right. So it didn't give us an 80-20 opportunity, anything for a correction, right? It just turned over. Okay. It came into our zone. Right. So look, 61.8. Okay. Over 300 pips. 786, because a drawdown. Over 375 pips. So you got almost 700 pips in one move. Everybody follow me on that?
Yes.
Okay. That's the potential, right, in these moves. So you don't have to trade at colossal lot sizes to try to make money. You don't. You just don't, right? Can't say that enough. All right. So any questions on the euro yen? So continue, right? This is moving up. Look at it on the lower time frame. Probably not gonna get, right? Oh, this is the 30-minute one. This one is just continuing to move, right? So let me bring down that 1 hour target. Right, so look, A, B, C, D, we didn't get a correction on this one, so no opportunity to add or anything, right? But it's continuing to move long, and so we are going to hit this 1 hour extension, like so. So this is your 1 hour extension here. So right when we hit that 30-minute D extension, we'll be running into a 1 hour, 1.618 D extension. So we may see a reactioner, and we may get the correction that we need to either add to the trade or to get a good entry. Okay. Again, any questions on the Euro JPY?
No, sir.
Okay. Euro NZD. We still doing the dance. All right, so we got a good move, but now we move back down. So it's trying to make its mind up. So still just hovering around the zone. Initially broke trend line, we pulled back. Okay, so bit range bound, still within the AB boundary, so still holding. Okay, same thing here on the 30-minute. Got a deeper correction, looks like an 8.6, right? So if you're running this off the 30, I'm gonna pull that out because it came all the way back and pushed lower. So we zoom in here, take a look. That's 175, 762, 175, 736. So nope. So we run to the 127 on that one. And yeah. On 18. Yeah. Okay. So that's the target from this 30-minute chart. Okay, so this is 30-minute, 1 hour. It's at 177.85. Like so. So that's what we're looking at there. Okay, 30-minute, 1 hour on the Euro NZD, holding long, kind of range bound right now, but we'll see if we can get the breakout. Any questions on the Euro NZD?
No, sir.
Oh,
All right, let's look at the pound Aussie.
Been moving, but it's slow.
It is. It is moving slow. It is. This one, we're getting a move. Let's look at bearish for the week now. Let's see if that level holds. Okay. So Where are we at here? So we almost got a 50%. We're in a buy zone on the 4. I need this 192.69 level to hold and see if we can get a continuation. Because I'm looking at this on this 30-minute. And so we got some bearish, it's bearish right now. So we went beyond that 61.8, then we pushed up. So we're still within that AB boundary. So let's see if that 192.69 level holds, but we're still within the AB boundary. So I'm gonna hold on that one. Keep holding that position. See what we get out of it. So that's where we are, still bouncing around. They push a little deeper within our AB boundary. So we shall see. Any questions on the pound Aussie?
I think,
Right.
Benny, I think it's gonna go down lower because I guess my TP is 84995. I think the 4-hour,
You think it's gonna push lower on the 4?
yeah.
Yeah, it may, right? It may. So we got almost a 50% correction. And so we'll see what happens when it's just been bouncing around, right? So this zone is where I'm concerned. So if it breaks that level and pushes down, takes out that low, then definitely. But we've got it's just a lot of mess, right? A lot of mess on this pair right now. So we'll see if it holds. If
Benny.
not, it's yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the technical summary on the GBPAUD, and it looks like from the hour to the 5 to the daily, it's all bearish.
Correct.
So how do you kind of correlate that with the technicals at the moment? Looking at the
Correct.
stochastic.
Yes. So the way I have it running is that, so when I see that on investing.com, I'm looking at the technical summary, that tells me, right? Because this moved bullish, correct? That moves bullish. See how this moved bullish to the upside?
Yeah.
Now, your lower time frames are always going to make the shift first to bearish, right? Because it's like building blocks, right? So this has been bearish. So on your lower time frame, technical summaries, it should be showing bearish. But what that tells me right now is that I'm in an up retracement zone. I'm in an up retracement zone because this has been swinging to the upside, right? See how we broke the inner outer long-term trend line? And so we got 1, 2, 3, we're on our 4th fib to the upside. So if I'm seeing that on a technical indicator, then I go back to my framework and say, well, I'm in an up retracement zone, right? The question is always, what time frame am I trading it on, right? And where am I at in regards to my sweet spots, right? So we've gotten a 50% pullback here. My 4-hour stochastic is in the buy zone, okay? So the question becomes, right? And remember, right? So when you're looking at a technical summary and things like that, those are all lagging, right? And so when I'm trading, I'm anticipating, okay, what could happen in the future. So what I'm looking at is that we've gotten pretty much almost a 50% pullback. Stochastic is in a buy zone. This has been ranging, right? It's been a tough one to gauge. But for the most part, look, we accelerated and then it took it all back, okay? That can make your trading conditions a little tough when you get that type of price action because we're just whipsawing, okay? So what I'm looking at here is that this 192.69 level is within my AB boundary on the 30, which is where I spotted this major pullback, right? So now this trend line is kind of dead to rights because it took off and then slightly broken and then moved sideways again. So this is what we're looking at here. Okay. And then here is that key level. Okay. So even, right, I've already got my risks worked out. Okay. So if I'm in at 2%, I know I'm going to lose 2% if it all fails. But even my 192.24 monthly support level is within my AB boundaries, right at an 8.6. Okay. So my idea is still intact, right? If it fails, doesn't matter my 2% on this swing. If it doesn't, right? Now I'm just looking at making an adjustment, right? So we didn't quite get to that 786 yet. But if it does push lower, okay, then it's going to pick me up. Right? You see that, guys? I've got a buy limit here. Okay. So it's going to pick me up. So if it makes that swing at that 786, then all I have to do is come in on my first position and change my TP level. Okay. So then I just have to come in and change my TP level if it pushes deeper. Okay. So now I'm not looking at 419. I'm looking at if it reverses. If it reverses, then I'm at 298, 300. And then off that 786 level, I'm at 358, almost 360. See what I'm saying? If it stops me out, I already know I'm out of 2% off those two orders. No biggie. I'm not going to lose 50 of these in a row. It's not going to happen. Right? And that's how I keep things simple. Okay. So the key is, do we make that U-turn within that AB boundary on this 30-minute? Okay. If we don't, and it takes it out, then the observation that Dinette made that, hey, I think that's going to push lower, that's probably what's going to happen. Right? It's probably going to push lower into the zone. And then guess what? If it pushes lower into my 4-hour zone, okay, if it pushes lower in my 4-hour zone, then when it gets to my sweet spot, if at that point I'm looking at the fundamental data and I'm still bullish on this pound versus the Australian dollar, then I'm going to look to buy it off the 4.
It's a tricky one, Benny. Looking at the daily, it hasn't hit a 382 yet, but it's been doing a lot.
For a long time, right? It's been doing a lot for a long time. We got past resistance becoming future support, and our stochastic is back, right? Headed back to the buy zone. It's a tricky pair to trade. Right? But even if we reversed, right? So this daily is longer term, okay? And we've got daily resistance here, okay? If it holds, right? If it holds, say we stayed range bound, okay? If we stay range bound, you've got level here. It's a daily level. We even got a zone back here. But right, that's 251 pips back to that level. 70 pips back to that weekly level. Right? See? Right? All we can do is put our trade ideas out there, use proper risk management, and see if it plays out. All right? That's what this game is all about. That's the beauty of it, right? So if I'm buying here and I lose this trade, then I just paid somebody because somebody is selling. That's the beauty of what we do. You're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. This market is very, very black and white when you think about it. Any questions? Any other questions on this panel, Ozzy? Great discussion. I like it. I like it.
No, sir.
Time, money, risk. That's it. That's it, right? Looking back, look at this a couple more. This pound CAD, right? Because you're always gonna have these ones that are in between, right? And you have to just trade the zones. Like for example, this one, it's a mess, right? But here's your support. Bang. Okay. It's always right. Your mind always starts to wonder when things slow down, things start to push sideways, and it doesn't have momentum either way. That's why we stick to just trading our zones, right? That's why we trade our zones. And then we let the rest take care of itself, because you give yourself a headache if you overthink it, right? So, right, for example, on this 4, right, things are holding up. It's moving sideways, but you're still within your AB boundary. You're still within your buy zone. Your stochastic is oversold. So if that price reverses prior to hitting that stop, right, taking out your A, that trade is going to move over 190 pips, right? Think about that. It's that simple. And either you take a shot on the trade idea or you leave it go. You leave it go. But that's pulled back to the zone, right? It took out our A to the downside, right? Just looking for a wave. See how it's stalling in our buy zone? See what happens. Pound Swissy. Right? That's trying to get back to it. Just missed it, right? It's trying to get back. Right? See, so for example, Jeremy, at this point, right, when you're looking at that technical indicator, your lower time frame indicators are going to say that this is bearish. And you have to say, yep, it's in my up retracement zone. Because it has to move bearish to correct itself and get to a low price. But overall, it's making up ABCD waves. Okay? So it always looks shaky when you're here. That's the mental game that we have to defeat, get over, right? It always looks crazy here. But if my idea is right, that I'm bullish, then we're 260 pips later. Right? Risk to reward. That 85 pips was worth the risk because it's giving me 200 pips to the upside. Keep it simple. Okay. Keep it simple. If then.
Benny, I have an off question. At the end of the week, since you have all those markups, with your pairs, do you go back and count your pips, or how do you assess your business?
We do, right? You go back and you look at things in like your pips and your percentages, right? So you go back and you count your pips. Yeah. You can go back and count your pips. Like here, this one is 347, right? Looks crazy here. Yep. Go back, count your pips, look at, hey, what did I gain percentage wise, right? And sometimes, right, like on a week like this week, you still have trades active, so I'm not too concerned, right? Some trades it's like cycles. It's just like ABC. Your account is the same way. It's just like ABCD waves. Like you have times where you're counting the pips because you had some trades take profits, and then like this take profit. But then this week, I'm not overly concerned because I still have a lot of trades active. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a this week, yes, I'll review, but it's like, oh, I still have trades that's just getting started because I'm not necessarily looking like when you get a super understanding of your time frames, like how you said the one time, like, well, in a 1 hour, it typically runs this long or this many days, right? Like some of them we just had take profit. It was like 10 days, right? Like this one was what was this? This was around the first, and we hit TP, right? The 13th. You see? And that's on a 30-minute chart. So, knowing that they take a while. So there were some days where, or at the end of 1 week where it's just like, well, it's moving in a positive direction, but it hasn't hit the take profit yet. So it's still active. So I tend not to, you review it, you look at it once a week because you look at all your charts, at the end of the week, but you tend to start to look at things on a monthly basis, quarterly basis is eventually where you get with your longer swing trades. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes
There.
sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're not so because if I'm in longer swing trades and understanding the style that I'm trading, back in the day, I was giving myself a headache because I was expecting things to happen so fast and so quick, but you're swing trading. Like that doesn't make any sense, right? So it's like I'm driving myself, crazy, but it's like, man, it shouldn't be. I shouldn't be closing out these trades yet because they're swing trades. So I shouldn't, you know, see my account, my bottom line increase yet. It gets to the end of the month, and then, um, really, really pay attention, to the overall count and things like that. So just monitoring, during the week, closing out, hey, am I moving in my right direction? On the weekend. And then when you get towards the end of the month, you start to finalize everything and see how you did for the month. It's more along the lines of what I would say. So here on this GJ, right? Can we get a correction on this 30, right? To get long. Let me see. There we go. All right. So you can see we got that pullback. So it's kind of like, that pound Aussie where it's just like, man, like we didn't get a super deep, we didn't get a super deep correction, but can we is it just going to continue to move, and can I take advantage of it? So because there's always when we're in this zone, there always was a possibility that we can break through these levels and move deeper. But you can see, look, it kept trying here, tried here, tried there, and it just continued to hold. So that's why I'm keeping a close eye on that pound Aussie, right? If it holds that I think it's that 169 level or whatnot, because you can have something similar happen, right? And then moves along from there. So that's that. That's all I have for today. Ryan, anything before we close out?
Bro, great session, man. Good people, continue to be patient, right? Continue to allow the market to come into your sweet spots. Don't chase the trades, but allow them to come to you.
That's it. That's the key. That's the key. And you will be successful as long as you keep your risk management intact, right? This one's still bouncing around, right? It keeps rejecting off that level there, right? So, all right, that's it. Appreciate you all being here. I know we went a little bit over, 15 minutes over, whatnot, but I wanted to get those things covered. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We will see you all tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.